Billy D, and this is your Weekly Buzz, an exciting one this time, as they always are, but I've got two very special people here. We have Errin Smith, Nano Love here, as she's known, and seriously, one of the smartest dudes I think I've ever met, like uber, like Mensa smart. Hank Williams, he's like really helped me with a project cleaning my brain out from some toxicity. But first we wanted to go through what seems to be a big topic now is microbiome. You're seeing books like Brain Builder. What's the Brain? I can't even. Brain Maker.
Brain Maker.
Maker and the Missing Microbes is out there. And I was reading, Bulletproof Diet today. It's all getting back to feeding your microbes and cleaning out all the dysbiotic bacteria and shit and getting all that stuff out so that we can properly cleanse our body.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and open it up with that, and then we'll discuss the cleanse after that.
My name's Dr. Williams, and we're going to talk about the microbiome. First off, it's not just the gut. It's your skin, under the skin, your throat, female areas.
Your armpits.
It's armpits.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. But we're going to talk about the gut, the microbiome in the gut. And basically, it's the symbiotic and pathogenic microorganisms that are in our body. And now the symbiotic ones are good. They help us process foods, help our immune system. And then the pathogenic ones are the ones that we want to flush out, whether it's bacteria, parasites, yeast, candida, those types of things.
Another thing about the good bacteria, too, is they feed the brain proper nutrients to create the neurotransmission that we use. Okay, which is good for brain health.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of research out now on the microbiome. There are 10 times more bacteria in our gut than there is cells in our body. So trillions of these little microbes. Scientific American had an article on how they have shown research that shows that these gut bacteria influence our brain and how they think. So depression, schizophrenia, and some of these things can be related to that. ADHD, allergies, asthma,
autism,
autism.
right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, when we look at autistics, they all have gut problems.
Of course.
Tight junctions in the gut's not functioning, stuff's getting through, leaky gut.
Right.
And so they influence our health. They're connected to our immune system. It's also connected to our brain. So we have two brains. One's the gut and one is our brain. So the reason we're doing this with Billy is to get inflammation out of his brain so that we can do a detox down the road.
Because my mercury was off the chart.
Yes, it was.
All that surfing?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it came from because I didn't get a lot of vaccines, so it's not like that. I mean, could it be from just being in the ocean a lot?
And eating fish and other things.
Right, but mine was like friggin'...
It was in the red.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can feel it. Just it's so funny because like sometimes I'll go to remember a name and it's just like I know I should know that person's name. I don't know if anybody else has this. But when I'm really under pressure to like, oh shit, what's that person's name? It like doesn't come. As soon as I relax, then it comes to me. I don't know if that's something that's normal. But I've noticed over the years being in practice, it's harder for me to keep track of all my patients' names all the time. And it's really concerned me. So that's why I had the testing done to begin with. What kind of, you do a challenge test, right?
Yes.
Why don't you explain to them what a challenge test is?
So we do a challenge test. We use doctor's data. It's a 6-hour urine test. We use DMSA as the challenge or provoking agent. The patient gets up in the morning. They go to the restroom. Then they collect their urine for the next 6 hours after they take a dose based on body weight. It's 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight, so up to 15 pills. And then for 6 hours, they urinate into a container, collect it, we send it to doctor's data, and then we get aluminum, mercury, lead, arsenic, cesium, which let me bring up cesium, cesium-117, because right now I'm seeing a lot of it, especially in my surfers, because it's from the Fukushima radioactive.
What's
in
Fukushima?
the water. Well, you know. The
That's
radioactive spill from Japan. Yeah, it's still happening.
I thought that was just
And we also find
fake.
iodine, 121 high levels, because it's also radioactive, and those are the two things given off by that. So it tests for all that, and I've seen an increase in the last couple of years of my patients that hang out at the beach and go in the water a lot on those two metals. So
maybe that's where I got it, because I only got 5 vaccines, so...
Yeah.
But I did eat a lot of fish as a kid.
It could be both.
I remember eating like a pound of swordfish.
Right.
The more you ate, the bigger you got. But
yeah. So we know all these things trigger autoimmune. We also know not having the right gut bacteria trigger autoimmune diseases, your rheumatoid arthritises. They're linking diabetes, fibromyalgia, and cancers to not having the right gut microbiome. We also know that going through the birth canal, you're going to miss having some beneficial bacteria that we now know could be linked to allergies and asthma. So it's important to have natural births. So all these C-sections, you're putting your child at a disadvantage because they're not getting the flora that they need. Going through that birth canal presses that in through the skin and inoculates them and allows their immune system to start kicking in along with breastfeeding.
Well, there's also the cranial molding, the spinal molding that's going through that the kids don't get.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why we have more dyslexics and scoliosis.
Exactly.
Okay,
And that's why we need to, chiropractic before, during, and after pregnancy, and
so
on
you don't
your
have the
newborn.
right nerve flow to the
Exactly.
reproductive system, you're not going to be able to deliver a baby. Or plus, you don't have the
Exactly.
capacity for movement in those joints. I mean, it's beyond me why every person on the planet doesn't have a chiropractor, but
Well,
that's
I
just-
get you.
yeah, it's
All right. Neurotransmitters. So, serotonin, it's made in the gut. So, if you don't have the right gut microbes, depression, your brain's not going to function. And like we said earlier, that you get inflammation in your gut from eating processed foods and junk food and grains and sugar and all the excitotoxins, your artificial sugars. Those things all destroy that gut bacteria along with antibiotics. These kids, again, they don't get chiropractic. They get born, they get ear infections, they get on antibiotics. They're already at a risk from having a C-section. Then the antibiotics destroys more of that gut microbiome.
and all the vaccines.
And all the vaccines. And a lot of the vaccines have antibiotics in them.
Right.
So it's destroying that gut system. And so our whole goal is to rebuild this.
Okay.
Okay, and so in Billy's case, basically, we're going to cleanse and fix his microbiome first to get the inflammation out of his gut and rebuild those tight junctions, get rid of that leaky gut, but also bring down the inflammation in his brain because we know he has high mercury, we know it's in the brain, and our goal is to get the source of that out, which is what we're going to do.
Right.
So kind of explain what you've...
All right, so you had me do the bone broth for
Yes.
5 days, and then I took these drops, Dr. Pompa's Cyto Detox.
Yes.
I did this twice a day, 10 drops, correct?
Yes.
And then we do that for 10 days, and we go off for 5 days.
Yes.
Am I a good student? I'm a good student.
Yes.
You are.
So I'm on my 14th day right now.
Right.
I did the bone broth, and let me tell you what, the bone broth we had was hideous.
Yeah.
It was like I didn't even want to be hungry because I would rather have the hunger than drinking the bone
Well,
broth.
we learned.
Yeah, so somebody brought me some really good chicken bone broth and made it a lot easier. And I think it's just don't get frustrated. The first couple days are going to be a little rough, especially
Yes,
for me
'cause
not
you gotta
doing
get
any
into ketosis.
coffee, not eating and having just bone broth. And what was 500 calories a week is what we're trying to restrict it to.
Well, not a week. Just
No, I mean a
6
day.
to 8, 6 glasses a day.
I meant 500 a day.
Yeah.
But my goal was I want to fix my brain. I mean, my brain is important. And
Right.
as we're going to Murphy's gig, he's talking like upwards of 50% of the people in the populace after age 60 are going to be pre-Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's. And I know
Yeah.
it's for some cumulative toxicity from everything that's going
Yeah,
on.
mercury, aluminum.
Yeah, just everything. So I did the bone broth. It was rough. I got through it, and then I got to eat like
Just
meat.
meat.
So then we go to clean, free-range
Yes.
meats, as clean as possible, as organic as possible. So I've been doing like grass-fed buffalo. I've been eating, smaller chain fish, which means I'm not eating the big swordfish, but I'm
Right.
eating smaller, like sole. Again, it's probably hard to get super clean fish. I'm not a big chicken guy though. I mean, I've eaten some turkey. Been eating eggs, which have all been pasture raised. I mean,
Right, grass.
whatever. They're
Yeah.
just healthy eggs, okay? And just been eating that, and even I was at JJ Virgin's thing. They even had some clean pork there, if that's a possibility. But
Wow.
she's, big on eating protein. So basically, just I've been eating meat and some cheese. You got me.
Yes, the Beyond Organic cheese.
Yeah. And why don't you explain why that?
So
cheese
the
is good?
Beyond Organic is Jordan Rubin's company, and basically he went and bought cattle in the Middle East, Europe, Africa, India, and these cattle are type beta A2 they don't produce casein in the milk. So beta A1s produce casein. That's a majority of the cattle in this country. The reason for that is we've bred the recessive to be the dominant gene because they produce more milk. But because they produce more milk, they're producing casein. The beta A2s don't produce casein. So Jordan went out of the country, got new cattle, genetically tested them, brought them. They make cheese products, milk products, yogurt products, and beef products that are from the beta A2s, not beta A1s. So it's
and
a
the
great
casein
company.
is it
can
going to
cause cancer.
but it's
Yes.
also can cause autoimmune issues.
Exactly.
And
It's going to be like the
inflammation.
next gluten.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Okay. And that's the same thing that's going on with. So it's part of the whole queso and morphins, or is that what it is?
I would have to look on that.
Yeah,
but
I just read something the other day on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm doing the meat, and then it's coming up on day 15. I get to actually add, and you know what? My bowel movements have been horrible. I usually
Yeah.
have just the
Because
monstrosities.
we flush the bacteria out of your system.
Yeah, and I'm not eating any
Right,
fiber.
Right. So
Sucks.
now the next 15 days is fermented foods.
Yes.
And vegetables.
Yes, and I'm
So
looking so
to-
forward to eating just a cucumber, if you can imagine. like-
Re-inoculating yourself with fermented foods.
You know, and what it really gets you to appreciate is how good the food that you really eat is.
Yes.
It's like, you can start eating trash, and I don't want to eat trash
Right.
anymore because I don't want to have to go through this again.
Right.
But just simple things like a cucumber, or I look at like
Tomatoes.
well, I thought I even heard tomatoes, but like a raspberry looks so good to
Right.
me, and even that sauerkraut. I can't wait to eat sauerkraut.
Yeah.
I mean, I love
The
sauerkraut.
more fermented foods, the better.
And I love cabbage,
Yeah.
and I love broccoli, and I love cauliflower, and I love all that kind of stuff. And to me, to be able to eat that again, it's going to be so good.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not craving like saltwater taffy or like a pie or anything.
Right.
I'm craving really healthy foods, which is good.
Well, and the other reason we only had you do the meat is for other patients, if they have food allergies and sensitivities, we've now eliminated everything
Right.
that can cause those allergies. So basically, you did the broth for 5 days, then you did 10 days of basically the GAPS diet.
Right.
Now we're adding fermented foods back in for
Right.
15 days. After that, we're going to cleanse the liver. The whole reason we're doing it in this program, one, bring down that inflammation in the brain. Next
Right.
is clean the detox pathways so that we can really start pulling the mercury and other chemicals
this
out
does.
of your body.
Let's explain
Yes.
why this
So the
works. This is a
cytodetox.
zeolite product,
Yes, but
but it passes the blood-brain barrier because
Yes.
it's been nanoized. Is that the proper
we'll let
word?
Errin explain.
Oh,
let
sure.
Errin.
Give me that
Yeah,
little
because
guy.
she hasn't
Okay.
said much, and she's so beautiful. We got to get
Yeah.
her
Oh,
a picture.
jeez. Thanks, lady. Above you. Okay, so here's the thing with this. I'm gonna do a little bird's eye snapshot on this. Basically, look up zeolite clinoptilolite on PubMed. There's 365 studies and articles just published. You can check it out. But basically, it's a mineral that's been used forever to pull heavy metals and toxins out of stuff, whether it's the environment. I mean, it's been used all over the place, but it's never been. It's essentially a mineral, like a rock that's been broken down, so small that it's become a powder that you mix with water, and it's been this suspension forever. And it's never, humans have been able to take it over the years, but it's never been broken down small enough to actually get inside the cell.
Exactly.
Up until now. So again, through Dr. Pompa and 180 degree solution, this product it's available, and it's basically groundbreaking because people have been trying to get this mineral hydrolyzed forever, and they've never been able to do it until now. So this is a really big deal because it's getting through the cell membrane. So imagine what happens when you get into the cell and you actually pull it out of the cell, and the cell can do its job, and the body can heal, and the immune system can do what it needs to do. So imagine what happens in this whole spectrum of issues that we're having. It's like huge deal. So I don't know we can go through more info later. I actually want to do a couple videos with you and do host some talks here.
So
and
how's it
educating
different than
people on-
other zeolite products?
Well, because they have all been broken down small enough to get into the body, but not into the cell.
Exactly.
And that's that's the
But
thing.
also, doesn't it pass the blood-brain barrier
Yes.
too?
It does.
Okay, and the other zeolites don't.
Right.
So what
Right.
about all these people that do these oral chelators thinking they're pulling that stuff out? That stuff's
Yeah. Like DMSA will get it out of the brain, but you have to create a reservoir.
right.
So that's why we do the whole
cleanse.
and then on-off cycle where we go, 5 or 7 days or 10 days on, 5 days off. Create this reservoir, pull it out of the brain, put it in the tissues, take it out of the body.
Got it.
And that's why we use the charcoal, the bind, and the G-cell, which is a glutathione, to bring that in.
Okay.
Now, as far as rebuilding the gut, when we get to different phases, like he's going to start the next phase tomorrow, We use fiber. You can use standard process fiber.
We can use standard process
Exactly.
probiotics, right?
We can also use some of the chlorophyll
Okay.
capsules
Okay.
to just, put back into the gut.
Okay.
The probiotics.
Okay.
The good thing that you want to do, though, is use different types of probiotics.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Yes, like the one we gave you, the MBC, is like 12 that you would never get anywhere else. It's
Okay.
not your typical lactobacillus and those, because you can get all those just from the health food store. The problem is everybody has those. You need all the other ones that you're missing,
Okay.
Okay,
and then how long do I stay on and I can eat?
Yeah, so you can start having vegetables and salad and
Okay,
just
perfect.
no grains, no sugar,
Yeah,
and that's
perfect.
for the next 15 days.
That's
and then
easy.
we're going to put you on Dr. Pompous Cellular Healing Diet,
Okay.
and then we're going to run you through the 60-day protocol.
So I got another 60 days after the 30?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes,
So,
yes.
but I still can eat, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not just drinking broth.
Right.
Drinking
But
skinny.
and the other reason we put you through this first part is to get you into ketosis,
Mm-hmm.
so that the brain can function better, burn fat, and help heal up, so you're not getting inflammation from spiking insulin.
Okay, and then when we're done, when do we redo the testing to see if there has been any decrease in
So we
mercury?
will 6 months. We will run the heavy metal challenge.
Okay.
It'll probably, because of your level, typically we tell a patient 2 years
Okay.
to fully get it out. But
Do you
since we
think
have
no,
the
no, no?
cyto
Seriously, you
detox,
can't fully get it out, but
but as much as we can to where it
right.
looks
But
good on
let's
the
say it's
testing.
at what was my percentile? It was like 98% or something.
Yeah, it was all the way to the end of the chart.
Okay, so what would we expect after 6 months? Would it be
It'll
75%?
probably still be in the red or maybe into the yellow, but it's still going to be there.
Okay, and then the other metals will be lower
Coming out too,
So you're going to
yes.
get rid of the lead, which was a problem.
Yes.
Why was there not
Arsenic.
any aluminum on that test? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know why it looked like an older test. So when we rerun the new one, it'll test aluminum.
Okay. Or
Yes.
should we do in hair? And what do you think about hair analysis?
I would let Dr. Pomp answer that, but I've always been taught that the more accurate ways to do the urinalysis
Okay,
challenge.
perfect. All right.
Because hair, you can get things from surfing, wherever else in your hair.
Right.
Where the challenge is pulling it out of the tissue.
Right.
Where IV chelation's just taking it out of the blood.
Okay.
We want it out of the tissue because that's where it's gonna affect you. And the whole goal of the body is to hide it, so it hides it in the fat
Right.
and the brain.
All right.
So-
So if you have any questions about the whole detox, you can call Hank. You want to give your
Yes.
number, Hank?
It's 949-376-7895.
And then if you have any questions about the cyto detox, you could call Nano Love. Yeah. What number?
Yes, 949, I'm giving out my numbers, 949-374-4207. Or you could email me, esmith@cytodetox.com, and I will send you all the goods that you need.
Thanks,
I'm going to
Billy.
eat a buffalo burger tonight.
Yeah, you can have
Yeah.
some bone broth.
All right. Thanks
Thanks,
everyone for
guys.
watching. Hope you learned some stuff. If you've got any questions, call Hank. Don't call me. But I'm being the guinea pig. I'm going to see how it works on me. And then if it works really good for me and I can actually think better, then we'll start promoting it to the world. Even though
You
I'm going
will.
to promote it
Yes.
to the world. I know. I already feel better. I feel more energy and
Good.
clarity. And I'm sleeping better.
Good.
And
That's what we
I
expect
still,
to
my
see.
name, I'm still a little
Yeah.
slow on the names. But, there's a lot of mercury up
I'm
there.
Errin, if you don't remember me.
I just call you Nano Love.
Okay.
All right. Over and out. Rock and roll. Hey, you guys can do that? Or is it okay with Papa to do that?
Yeah.
Come on, there we go. All right, let's go eat.
Cool.
This video is sponsored by my friends over at mychiropractic.com, custom branding and web design for successful chiropractors. I love these dudes because they're raising the image of chiropractic, and I really thank them for supporting all of our videos. Rock and roll.
This year, we're providing on-demand videos of all our past CalJams and DCS meetings, streaming online, available straight to your media devices. Visit caljam.org/network for more information.
Billy D from Cal Jam Water. You know how important and how much I've stressed that you drink clean, pure, alkaline water. We have developed the most amazing system that not only will eliminate 99% of contaminants in your water, including fluoride and chlorine, but also helps remove acidic waste by bringing in the alkalinity. You can learn more about our system at caljam.org/water.